Caleb. Caleb? That's a very mighty name.
Right.
That's a very strong name.
Right.
My name is Yaquab. So what we come out here to do is to teach the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American who they are according to the Bible. Show them what the purpose in life is.
Right.
Where you from? Ghana. Ghana. Ashanti? Ashanti, right? Okay, you're my people. I'm gonna show you something. Come here. You say your name was Caleb, right? Yeah. Nice, powerful name. So, Caleb, what we're teaching is the 12 tribes of Israel. You descend from one of these 12 tribes, all right? Ghanaian, you most likely might be from the tribe of Judah or Benjamin. Why is it mainly black people that suffer black on black violence? Have you ever heard Chinese on Chinese violence? Have you ever heard white on white violence? Have you ever heard Arab on Arab violence? Why is it there's black on black violence? That's a curse. Right. What's that help to show you? Identify who you are. Because by the way how you're suffering, it's going to let you know what people you come from. Because God put that on a certain people. So if King Solomon was a black man, would not his lineage end up being black? So if he had a son, and his son's black, and his son's black, and his son's black, and his son's black, you think that it's going to come a different color? Caleb. Caleb? That's a very mighty name. Right. That's a very strong name. Right. My name is Yaquab. So what we come out here to do is to teach the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American who they are according to the Bible. Show them what the purpose in life is. Right. Where you from? Ghana. Ghana. Ashanti? Ashanti, right? Okay, you're my people. I'm gonna show you something. Come here. You say your name was Caleb, right? Yeah. Nice, powerful name. So, Caleb, what we're teaching is the 12 tribes of Israel. You descend from one of these 12 tribes, all right? Ghanaian, you most likely might be from the tribe of Judah or Benjamin, all right? Right, because we know that our people were taken from Africa and put into the Americas, but we came from Africa, like the West Coast, like Ghana, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Uganda, even on the east side, Eritrea, Uganda, we're taken and put into captivity. You understand? That's why we came here to show you. Let me show you something, my bro. Let me show you something. You live in a so-called black community, right? Because what we come out here to do is show our people who they are. We come out here teaching the Bible. You weren't here before, maybe you were there. You seen us get assaulted by this woman. We were just teaching about, we didn't put no hands on her, we were defending ourselves. She decides to come back again, we defended ourselves. But why did she have to come and throw stuff at us? We didn't do nothing to her. You understand? Give me that in Deuteronomy 28. Alright? Let me show you something real quick. 15, yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
Because have you noticed around the street, you live here, right? You notice our people are on drugs? Our people are on some serious drugs.
Right!
Every intersection I go to, someone's on some drug.
Right!
You know what I mean? In the world, we all suffer that. We all had to get off that. Understand? That's why we came out here to cleanse our people with the word of God, the right way, not how those Christian practices do it. Read that.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. If we didn't listen to God, read on.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Right? So we're getting bad things happen on us because we don't want to listen to God, right? Read.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
That all these curses, so bad things, because the curse is a bad thing. All these curses shall come upon us and overtake us. You understand? So these are the bad things that's happening to us. Why is it mainly black people that suffer black on black violence? Have you ever heard Chinese on Chinese violence? Have you ever heard white on white violence? Have you ever heard Arab on Arab violence? Why is it there's black on black violence? That's a curse. Right. What's that help to show you? Identify who you are. Because by the way how you're suffering, it's going to let you know what people you come from. Because God put that on a certain people.
Did
read on, read 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
It says, cursed shalt thou be in the city. Cursed shalt thou be in the city. Amongst the city, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we suffer the most. When it's us, when you see those that are on drugs, who do you see? I said, when you see people on drugs in these streets, who do you mainly see? Do you not see black people? Do you not see First Nation people? Right? That's us. That's what this is talking about. Let me show you something more. Read.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
So have you ever watched any slave movie like Roots, 12 Years a Slave? It says, cursed shall you be in the city, and cursed shall you be in the field. What a kind of field is? Oh, no, that's not a kind of field. I think that's good. So cursed shall you be in the city, right there. It says, cursed shall you be in the city, and cursed shall you be in the field. In the field, when we were brought from the west coast of Africa, like Ghana, Nigeria, we were brought into the Americas to pick cotton. How are we cursed in the field now? This is still happening to today. This is called crop sharing, right? Where they take you and make you work like this and make it seem like you're getting a wage, but you're not. That's crop sharing. Even so now we're cursed because we'll work a job and we still can't make ends meet. You'll work a job and you still don't have enough. Why is that? That's a curse.
Right.
Why are we suffering like this? Do you ever have to think that? Why are we suffering like this? You understand? Why is it that when you go get a job, you're the last one before the other nations? You understand? Read verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So it says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. Right? This happened in slavery. This happened by the so-called Arab man and the actual African. Because you may think you're African, but you're not. You're an Israelite. You're an Israelite. I'm gonna show you that because you heard that black people sold black people into slavery, right? You heard that before, right? I'm gonna show you, bro, that was not the case. I'm gonna show you in an instance of, I'll get to it. Read that. Finish reading that.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Read on.
And thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long.
So our eyes is gonna look and fill with longing. Why is that? Because read on.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
It says there shall be no might in thy hand. There shall be no power in thy hand. Could we do anything to stop this? Could our people do anything to stop slavery? From us being taken into ships, from us being put into fields, from us suffering the things that we're suffering here, having our babies, our daughters raped. You understand? Could we do anything? No, we couldn't do anything. That's why before you were here, I was saying, not by might nor by power of the Bible, Zechariah 4:6, but by what? God's Spirit. God's Spirit is what's going to get us out from this situation. First, we have to learn how to deal with ourselves, because the reason why we got to this place is because we didn't deal with each other properly.
Right.
You understand? We didn't deal with each other properly, and we didn't deal with God properly.
Right.
And that's what led to all this. Because when a brother steps on a man's shoes like that, he's quick to kill him. Let it be an Asian guy, Chinese guy, white guy, Arab guy. Is he be like, hey man, you know, they might do whatever, but they ain't gonna kill him, man. You understand what I'm saying, my bro? Read verse 46. I'm gonna show you, this is a sign. This is a sign that shows you who you are. Understand? This happened to a certain group of people. You can only limit the nations out this. Chinese people didn't go through this. No way will you find in history Chinese people went through this. White people didn't go through this. Arab man didn't go through this. You understand, my brother? Read.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder upon thy seed forever.
So it says it will be on you for a sign and for a wonder. When you look at William Street, you know that you're on William Street, right? That sign right there. You know where you're at. So what these curses are, they're a sign to let you know who you are.
That's right.
You understand, my brother? You're an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. Alright? An Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin or Judah. What are the two? You understand what I'm saying? Read verse 46. Because understand, our people, we're not self-sufficient. Right. You never made the clothes off your back. Your people didn't make the clothes off your back. The people didn't make the clothes off my back. Why is that? Read that.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, and hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
So we're going to serve our enemies in want of all things. So you see your shirt there. Where is it made? It's not made by people from Ghana. It's not made by people from so-called black people. It's not made by so-called Hispanic people. It's made by the other nations. You understand? Alright? Read that again.
Therefore shall thou serve thine enemies.
Hold on. There's order, sir. Like the Bible says that all the things be done decently in order. I was talking to the brother. Let me finish, and then I will get there. Understand? You can't just come and interrupt. I will deal with you. But you gotta just, you know what I mean? I see you. Don't worry. Alright? 1 second. Read.
Therefore shall thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, and hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Until he have destroyed thee, because what were we destroyed in? We were destroyed by not knowing who we are. That's why they took off the iron off our neck, because we didn't know who we are. You didn't know that you're an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know I was an Israelite from the tribe of Levi. Right? That's why they took that yoke off us, because we were not going to resist. We're not going to do anything violent towards them, even though despite the violence that they did towards us.
Right.
You understand, my brother? These are the things that we're showing. Understand? But understand, we come peaceably, alright? We bring the word peaceably. Excuse me? You said you had a question?
Yes, I just want to understand the context of Revelations 14 to 15.
Oh, that's good, because he needs to understand that too. That's a very good question. What's your name? Michaela. Alright, we're going to deal with that, Michaela. So my brother, do you know the, Michaela, do you guys know what they show in the world, the appearance of what Christ comes as?
Which is true, I know that.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to go over this quick because we don't have that much time. Alright, so give me that Revelation 1:14.
Revelation chapter 1 verse 14.
Bring it out.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So it said his head and his hairs were white like wool. The way you're going to get this understanding is by someone who's keeping the commandments. You can't just go to any Christian pastor that's not keeping the commandments, that's not an Israelite. Because you're going to get the true understanding from an Israelite. The Israelites today are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
We didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's why we came out here to show our people. There's curses and archaeological proof that the Bible is real, and it shows that we're the Israelites. We have books on this stuff. Read that again.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So what are we going over? The depiction of Christ. We're not saying that this is exactly what Christ looked like. Don't get it. Don't be twisted or whatever. We're saying that this is the depiction. I'm not saying, oh, this is what exactly Christ looked like. And I know what's in people's minds. All right? Hold on, sir. Hold on. Read that again.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Read that again from Michaela. Read it again.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Okay, it says it was white like wool. Listen to this.
As white as snow.
So hold on. Why does it say white twice?
Good point. Yes. I'm catching on to you there.
Right? Why does it say white twice? So let's break it down. Read that part again.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So it says his head on his, the hairs on his head and the hairs on his face were white like wool. Wool is going into the texture.
Yes.
Wool is going to the texture. Wool comes from a sheep. Sheep have curly hair. Sheep have curly hair. Christ had curly hair. Christ had curly hair, woolly hair. Another synonym for wool is nappy, kinky, oily. That's the type of hair that he has.
Right.
That's the type of hair that the reader has. That's the type of hair I have. All right, read on.
As white as snow.
And it said as white as snow. That's talking about that power, that wisdom that Christ had. All right, read on.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
All right, so and that literally means that Christ's hair was actually white. People think that it was gray hair. No, it's white hair. Okay, read that part again.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Why was his eyes of a flame of fire? Because we all know this. What was Christ's first miracle? Turning water to wine. But understand this, when black people drink wine, the whites of their eyes turn red. It's not because you're shooting lasers. Read on.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So now it's saying, and his feet like unto fine brass, because if I look at your feet, I can tell that that matches the rest of your skin color. Read on.
As if they burned in a furnace.
So it was saying it was like unto fine brass. First it said the color first. It said brass. Brass is the derivative of brown, right?
I have a question about
That's right.
I know, I got you, hold on. Brass is a derivative of brown, like the bronze or the penny, so on and so forth, all right? But let's see how dark this bronze color got. Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So this is past tense, burned. So when something is in the past tense of burning, burned, that means it turns dark, it turns black. So when Christ's feet, because this is John on the Isle of Patmos, this is what he's seeing. If Christ's feet is you know, dark, how would you have you, or black, then the rest of his body would be. But what was your question on the brass?
But essentially that would mean that this whole passage is a metaphor, not talking about Jesus' real appearance.
I'm going to show you something, because you know that Christ came under King Solomon, right? Christ's lineage is King David, King Solomon, right? Okay, so if King Solomon was a black man, would not his lineage end up being black? So if he had a son, and his son's black, and his son's black, and his son's black, and his son's black, you think that it's going to come a different color?
The thing is, I hope that we can all agree on that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what skin color he was.
Oh no, it does. It does. Want me to show you what?
Thou shalt not make graven images in Exodus 20.
You don't understand that though.
That's exactly what you're doing now.
You don't understand that. I'm telling you, because well, do you see anybody here bound to the image?
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, His word,